Hello everyone, welcome to the next video. So this video is about creating a new lead discipline. So this video is really targeted to the ADM team members here. And so I'm just going to we're creating the new ECE lead discipline. So I'm going to record myself doing it in the production environment. And then if you ever have any new lead disciplines in the future, you can follow these same steps. So I did a quick outline of the steps here. And so first and foremost, you definitely want to let us know that you are adding a new lead discipline. We can definitely assist in any way possible, but there is one place that you can't make the change for adding a new lead discipline, and that is in this CPS management window. When you go to create a new national standard and you choose the lead discipline, this drop down list you are not able to edit. So that would be something that we have to do as like a programming change. And I knew this change was coming, so I had already done it myself in preparation for this release. So I've already added it to this drop-down list, but I haven't done any of the configuration changes that would also be required. So there's a few areas that need this update. So we need to create we need to update the attribute list in the admin panel. So when you go to create a standard or like on the interim request letters, right, you need to specify the lead discipline. And so that is like a drop down list where you select the value. That needs to be updated with the latest value. We need to create a new group for this lead discipline, right, because that's how we manage the users, is we add them to their specific lead discipline group. And then we need to actually create that folder for them to have the standards in. And then you want to move any of the not year collections, move practice codes. And then you want to move the practice codes into that new lead discipline folder. And then we want to make sure we update that folder to remove any of the old discipline and add it with the new discipline group. And then the last one's going to be to update the NHCP index table. Alright, so I have created myself my user here, and I have only the ADM permissions here, so I'm doing everything as an ADM. So everything you see here should be exactly how an ADM would have privileges to. So let's get started. So I need to log into the admin page, which I already did here. So here is our admin console. This one I'm actually logged in as the administrator, but again, everything would be able to do the as the ADM. So first we need to update the attribute list. So we're going to go over to attributes, and we're going to sort the list so all of the custom ones are up first, and then we're going to look for lead discipline. And once we find lead discipline, we're going to double click or right click and edit attribute. When that loads, it's going to say select domain and then lead disciplines. So we're going to hit these triple dots right next to that. When that opens up, we want to go to the one that says lead disciplines. And then you'll notice that EC is not here, so we're going to add a new one with the plus sign. And we're going to do CED-ECE and hit OK. After you hit OK, you want to hit apply. If you notice, I didn't worry about it was at the very bottom before I hit save, but it will automatically sort it in order, so it appears in alphabetical order now, and that is based on, I believe, this checkbox being checked. Yeah, sort drop down menu. So this sorts it in alphabetical order here. Once that has been added, I'm going to go ahead and hit done, and then OK. Alright, so we have done step 1 and step 2. So now we also want to create that new group. So if I head over to the groups area, and you'll notice that I have a national discipline lead group for all these different disciplines. Now one little fun trick we could do is we could just right click and choose duplicate, or we could have added a new group. I'm going to use duplicate for this just because I don't want to type in all of this. So you see that it created a copy, and it put copy at the end of the name here. So now I want to edit this group. And with it being edited, I want to change it. So first I want to remove copy from the end and delete that extra space. And then I want to do ECE. This -TPS is very important, so make sure that that is still appended to the group name. And then from here, I don't want Bill Reck as the National Discipline Lead for this one. I actually want Terry, so I'm going to find Terry in the list. And Terry. And you have to have at least one person added to the group. So if you don't know who the NDL is going to be yet, you can just add anybody, or you can add yourself. And then whenever you do actually know that person, you can switch them out, remove yourself, and then add them. But there has to be at least one person per group. Okay, so let's go and hit OK here. So now we have our new group. And so we have done create the new group, and now we need to actually create these lead discipline folders. So if I switch back over to Workspace, I want to go to the national folder here as the ADM. Again, I don't have the ECE folder yet, but I want a new one here. So I'm going to right click on the national, and I'm going to do new collection. Not from template, just straight new collection. Okay. Here I'm going to name it, so I'm going to do CED-ECE. Now if you ever notice that some of the folders have that yellow icon and some don't, so if you want the yellow icon, switch it to department. If you don't care, then you can leave it as general, but department will get that yellow logo on the icon. Next we want to go to groups. Don't worry about workflows, you want to leave that blank. And don't worry about user profiles, no one needs to be added here. We only want to go to groups, and then from here you see that we have the ADMs, all CPS users, and then the administrators. For this lead discipline, we also want to add our new group we created for ECE. And we will add that over with the arrow or double clicking. Once you've added the group, hit OK, and then you'll see the group here in the list. Again, don't have to worry about auto routing, job jackets, or revision controls. Those don't matter. Just need this group ones. So once you've added the groups, hit save. And we have created the new group. Again, it's probably going to be at the bottom here. All the way here at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is just refresh my collections. And that's going to put it right in the middle here. So now we want to drag those practice codes into this folder. So I believe these ones it's going to be 374, 670, and 672. So you can use the index if you need to find what disciplines they are in now. So a lot of these were CED-AE. As the ADM, you probably already actually know that. So navigate to those where those are. So I see, thankfully, all of these are already CED-AE, so I can just drag them from there. So we have the 374, the 670, and the 672. So I'm going to line up here where I have the code, and then I have my target ECE. And so I'm going to click and hold and then drag it to ECE. And now when you see that little green plus sign right there, and then I'm going to let go. And then boom, don't have significant privileges to perform this operation. Perfect. Let me fix that. So let me go to roles, ADM, collections, modify, and then we'll allow move. And we'll apply that. Okay, let's try that again. So I'm going to refresh just to get that latest permission. And let's try that again. So let me go to CED-AE. I have 672. And I'm going to drag that to ECE. And there we go. Now we're allowed to move that. And I'm going to go to 670 and move it over. And then finally 374 and then bring it down until we see that plus sign. And boom, then we have all 3 of them. I can refresh my collections to get them in the correct order. Now we have a problem though, that with that we don't have the ability to they're on the old lead discipline and not the new lead discipline. So for each one of these, I want to edit them, to edit collection. I want to go over to groups, and I want to remove the old group, so CDAE here. I'm going to remove that with a minus sign, and then I'm going to add the new group ECE. And now you'll see all the other groups on here. PSRC, Internal Review Compositors, ECS, everybody. And then I want to do, on the drop-down list, I want to do override. And then I'm going to hit save. Now override is going to remove AE from the year revisions and then replace it with this. But it's going to remove everything and replace it with everything here. But only the groups, not the user profiles. If you added an NTL or anything, it's only going to do the groups. And then I'm going to hit save. Now the reason why we did it at the practice code level and not the discipline level is because at the discipline level we only have the main power ones here, right? We only have the ADMs and then the NDL itself. We don't have that QAT group. We don't have the ECS group. Right, those are further down on like the code level, not on the discipline folder collection. So like this collection only has ADMs and NDLs, and then down here is when we actually get into like QAT and ECS and those users. So whenever we go to edit here and go to groups, right, we have all of the groups, and we just want to replace this one, and then we'll switch it for ECE. And then we'll do override and we'll hit save. And then for the last one, edit collection, go to groups, remove AE, and then add ECE, and then do override and hit save. And then now if we go to these year folders and hit edit, we have the correct ECE group and we have all the other correct permissions as well. And then correctly discipline group, and then update standards with the correct lead discipline. Okay, so now we have all of them updated here, but now we actually need to update the standard. So we're going to check that standard out. And we are going to go to save and close. And I want to go to metadata and checklist, and I want to change this from AE to the ECE that we added in the admin panel, and then I'm just going to hit save. And then I'm going to do that for each one. So I'm going to check out the standard. I'm going to go to save and close. And then I'm going to go and change that to ECE and hit save. And then we're going to do that for this one. And fix the window here. Save and close. ECE. Save that. ECE, save. And last two. Okay. And so we created the ECE folder collection. We moved all of the correct practice codes into the folder, and we updated all the standards for the correct lead discipline. And so the final thing we have here is updating the NHCP index. And so if I go to the ADM folder, I had the lead disciplines thing here, the table here, and it says I already added the ECE here, back when I knew about it, but I could check out the index, and then I would go down to the table. I'd do right click and edit component, and then I would add in a new line with the right click insert, insert row below. Interesting. Edit. I could insert row below and then add in whatever fields I need. And I'm going to discard changes and leave this document. And cancel checkout of this document. Okay, so that is how we create a new lead discipline. So remember, there's one change that we have to do on our side, so make sure to send us an email so we can make that code change. And then the rest, you have to update that drop-down list. We have to create that new lead discipline group, and then we have to go into Workspace to create this folder, and then move all of these practice codes into the folder, and then update the collections with the new group that we created, and then update the standards from the new attribute that we put in, and then finally updating the NHCP index. And then after that, all of these buttons will work for the new lead discipline, and everything will be great. So thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next video. Thanks, bye.